Many people believe wealth comes from earning more money. It seems logical. Higher income should mean faster financial progress. But something interesting happens in real life. Some people double their income, and their financial situation barely improves. Meanwhile, others earning the same salary quietly build substantial wealth over time. So what explains the difference? The answer is rarely income. The answer is often capital allocation. And once you understand this idea, you begin to see money very differently. Let's begin with a simple observation. Most people manage their money in a reactive way. Income arrives. Bills are paid. Daily life continues. If anything remains at the end of the month, it may go into savings. This feels responsible. But structurally, it creates a problem. Because when saving depends on what is left over, very little is usually left. Expenses quietly expand to match income. Lifestyle improves slightly. But wealth does not grow very quickly. This is one reason many professionals feel financially stuck despite earning respectable incomes. More money comes in, but progress remains surprisingly slow. Now here is where the concept of capital allocation becomes useful. Capital allocation is a term often used in business and corporate finance. It describes how leaders decide where to direct financial resources. A company might allocate money to expand operations, or to invest in research, or to reduce debt, or to return profits to shareholders. The goal is always the same: to place money where it will create the greatest long-term value. In other words, capital allocation is about directing resources intentionally. Now consider your own financial life. You earn income each month. That income is your capital. And whether you realize it or not, you are constantly allocating it. Some of it goes to housing. Some goes to food and daily living. Some may go to leisure. Some may go toward debt. And ideally, some goes toward building assets. But here is the important part. If you do not consciously decide how to allocate your income, your lifestyle will decide for you. This is where things quietly become different. Imagine thinking of yourself as the chief allocator of your own financial life. Your income is the resource pool. Your decisions determine where that capital flows. One helpful way to think about this is through a simple analogy. Imagine every pound or dollar you earn as a worker on your financial team. Each one needs a job. Some workers maintain your household. Some handle essential obligations. But others must be sent out to build the future. If all of your financial workers are busy supporting your lifestyle, none of them are building wealth. But when some of those workers are deployed into investments or productive assets, they begin generating additional workers over time. That is the quiet power of compounding. But something even more interesting happens. Two people can earn exactly the same income and end up with completely different financial outcomes. Consider a simple example. Alice and Ben both earn the same salary. Alice manages her finances in a fairly typical way. She pays her bills, covers daily expenses, enjoys the lifestyle her income allows. If money remains at the end of the month, she may move some into savings. But saving happens last. Ben takes a slightly different approach. On payday, he automatically moves a portion of his income into investments. Perhaps 15%. He does this before the rest of his spending decisions take place. He then builds his lifestyle around what remains. The difference between Alice and Ben is not discipline. It is not intelligence. It is not income. It is simply allocation order. Over time, Ben's investments quietly grow, while Alice often feels like she is running hard but not moving forward. Now here is the part most people miss. Capital allocation does not require complexity. It requires clarity. One useful mental model is to imagine your income flowing into three broad categories: needs, future, and lifestyle. The first category covers essential obligations. housing, utilities, food, insurance, basic financial commitments. These are the foundations that keep life stable. The second category represents your future. This includes savings, investments, retirement accounts, or reducing high-interest debt. Money allocated here is not meant to disappear. It is meant to grow. The third category is lifestyle, travel, dining out, entertainment, hobbies, the things that make life enjoyable in the present. There is nothing wrong with spending money here, but the order matters. Needs first, future second, lifestyle third. This ordering creates something powerful. It ensures that wealth building happens by design, not by accident. Instead of hoping money remains after spending, you allocate it before spending begins. Many financially successful people follow a variation of this principle. In fact, the well-known investor Warren Buffett once summarized it simply. He said, "Do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving." This small shift in sequence can produce enormous long-term differences. But there is another layer to this idea. Capital allocation is not just about percentages. It is also about awareness. Many people never actually examine where their money goes. Income arrives. Expenses happen. Months pass quickly. But when people review their financial flow carefully, something often becomes clear. A surprisingly small portion of income is directed toward wealth building. Sometimes only a few percent. When viewed this way, slow financial progress becomes easier to understand. Because money flows toward whatever receives priority. Now here is something worth reflecting on. Wealth is rarely built by dramatic decisions. It is usually built by consistent allocation patterns repeated over time. Even modest investment contributions can grow substantially when sustained for many years. This is why two individuals with identical incomes can experience completely different outcomes. One allocates a meaningful share toward future assets. The other allocates nearly everything toward present consumption. Both lifestyles may feel comfortable in the moment, but the long-term results diverge dramatically. So how can you apply this idea in a practical way? The first step is simply awareness. Take a moment to review where your income currently goes. What percentage supports essential needs? What percentage funds lifestyle? And what percentage builds your future? You do not need perfection. You need clarity. The second step is intentional adjustment. Even small changes can make a difference. Increasing investment allocation by just a few percent may not feel dramatic today. But over a decade or two, the difference becomes very visible. And the third step is automation. When allocation decisions happen automatically, discipline becomes easier. Investment transfers occur without requiring constant attention. Your system quietly executes the plan. Over time, something subtle begins to happen. You stop relying on willpower and start relying on structure. Your financial progress becomes less dependent on mood or motivation, and more dependent on systems. This is ultimately the difference between income and wealth. Income reflects how much money flows into your life. Wealth reflects how effectively that money is directed. Two people can earn the same amount. But if one consistently allocates capital toward assets, while the other directs nearly everything toward lifestyle, their financial futures will look very different. So the next time income arrives in your account, pause briefly. Before spending begins, ask a simple question. Where should this capital go first? Because wealth is rarely about earning alone. It is about allocation. And once you begin directing your money intentionally, progress stops feeling random. It becomes structural. If this perspective shifted how you think about income, comment allocation. And if you enjoy calm, thoughtful discussions about financial structure and wealth design, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.